3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome into PressBox Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles of PressBox and PressBoxOnline.com. And with me is the old left-hander, Ross Grimsley. Ross, how are you?
Doing good. Doing very well. How you doing?
I'm doing great. The
Feeling
guy
okay?
below on our screen, Ross, is smiling, and I think I know why. And we're going to talk to the general manager of the Aberdeen IronBirds, Jack Graham, in just a moment and find out why he's got that big smile on his face. Expert and award-winning AJ Michaels Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Home Performance will improve your home's energy efficiency and comfort levels. AC season is coming up fast. New rebates and discounts are available. More at ajmichaels.com. And we also are brought to you by the Costas Inn, and we'll have a word to say about them a little later on in the program. But first of all, we're happy to have back on Jack Graham. And Jack, I have a feeling this couldn't have worked out much better for you when we talked about 6-7 weeks ago about when you might get Jackson Holliday. It was announced last week that he's going to join the club. They've been on the road. They will be on the road this week. And I think, is it Brooklyn?
Going to Brooklyn.
You're in Brooklyn for 6 days starting tomorrow night. But then next Tuesday night, a week from tonight, you've got 25 dates that I think Jackson Holliday will be on your club, definitely through late June. How excited are you to have Jackson Holliday on the IronBirds?
I am excited at least 25 baseball games worth, Stan. We did talk about it before the season, and frankly, I think that I had conservative enthusiasm for him coming up. I didn't want to get myself too excited about the prospect because, you know, it makes a difference to minor league teams when you get a really high-level prospect or when you get a major league rehabber or when you get a guy that is a generational talent, a first rounder, first overall guy. And, you know, there's no arguing with batting 392 in single A. You got to move a guy up when he does something like that. So we were thrilled. We were surprised, but we were thrilled and really excited. And overall, just couldn't be happier to have the fans in Aberdeen see some really high level baseball as usual, but specifically from a guy that is going to be making an impact in Baltimore soon.
Can you compare it at all? Last year, I know when he went to spring training, Adley Rutschman was hurt and he was going to rehab, and then he played, I think, 3 or 4 games with you. I was there the second night he was there. Yeah. Is the buzz around this even greater than that, or was that about what you're getting right now?
You know, it reminds me of when Adley was drafted in 2019 first overall, and he ended up coming up after a brief stint in Sarasota to Aberdeen. It reminds me of that, you know, planning for a press conference, planning for media excitement, planning for autograph seekers, planning for, you know, Birdland to be really excited about a guy that has not been on this side of the Chesapeake yet. And so it is definitely reminiscent of 2019 Adley Rutschman. It's reminiscent of, you know, big league rehabbers coming down with some notice to Ripken Stadium. So we're excited about it. And, you know, we're also excited for him to make an impact and help this team win because the first half and the second half have playoff winners, and, you know, it's time to get this team in gear.
One last question before I turn you over to Ross for a couple. What number jersey is he wearing for the IronBirds, and will there be some holiday jerseys available in your souvenir shop?
He is wearing 11, and yes, he is definitely going to help us sell some T-shirts, move some IronBirds merchandise. So we're excited about that. Keep an eye out on the Hangar team store. We usually put them out in the team store for fans on site to buy before they go online. So if there are any left, you'll be able to get your hands on one.
Ross, go ahead.
Hey, Jack, when you have, you know, with Holiday, and even I know Rushman was a big thing. How does that affect your ticket sales? Are they considerably higher, or is it a game day thing, or are people buying tickets for what was it, May the 9th when they come back?
Yes, they are. You know, dollars and cents is hard to tell because we have so many great price tickets at Ripken Stadium, but we moved several hundred tickets in the 48 hours after his promotion was announced. And even so, it's 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks before he was actually going to physically be in Aberdeen. So we're definitely seeing that. I remember when Adley was first announced coming up in 2019, we sold 1,000 tickets in about 72 hours. I think it was fairly comparable with Jackson. And we knew Adley was coming in 3 days. With Jackson having 2 weeks notice, I think that we will see more as we get closer to that May 9th to the 14th series against Hudson Valley here in Aberdeen. And I think people hopefully went and saw them in Wilmington. Our good friends, the Blue Rocks, just up I-95. And people will probably go to Brooklyn to see him too. I think the New York spotlight will be good for him.
Right. You mentioned about the major league rehab guys coming down. I know Dylan Tate was there recently. McCann. How does that? Obviously, you announced them that they're going to play probably that night or whatever. Does that increase the sales and the prices or the tickets any?
It doesn't always. It can. Last year when Adley was here, when Grayson came, those guys are effectively major leaguers, right? They were, but for all intents and purposes, Major League Baseball players when they were here, even though they had not been to the big leagues yet. Those make a difference. But I think the bigger impact that a major leaguer can have on our team is really a leadership role. When James was here a couple weeks ago, it was really good to see him interact with the catchers, interact with the position players, be a presence on the team. It really makes a difference. And to these guys in high A who have been professional baseball players for a year, 2 years, maybe some of them 3 years, it is really impactful for them to see the difference between an advanced A baseball player and a major league baseball player. They look different, they act different, they just impact the game differently. And so as a former player, it really makes a difference to the guys when you see that, and it's really fun to see the impact they have. Plus, he left us a nice ping pong table as sort of a thank you to the player.
Exactly. They either do something like that or they'll get an outstanding spread.
For sure.
That's another big thing.
You should ask Ross to pitch for you one day.
No, gosh, no.
He'll leave a lot of stuff there.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, really. Go ahead, Stan.
Hey, Jack, aside from Jackson Holliday, the club is 7-12 right now. In first place, tied in your division, are the Greensboro Club, which is the Pirates. Ironically, the Pirates are 20-9 in the majors. Their team is 14-7, and the Yankees at Hudson Valley are 14-7. Who else are we looking at? I know Judd Fabian and Dylan Beavers are doing some nice things for you. Have you gotten to see them enough to be able to spot the talents that they have?
We were lucky to have Judd and Dylan come up and play for us last year at the end of the season and during the playoffs. Great kids, really fun to have them around on the squad. We're seeing some interesting young talent. Freddie Ben Cosme is playing shortstop for us. Luis Valdez is at second base. We've got some good pitchers on the staff. Gene Pinto is back. Kyle Verbitsky is making an impact as he did in previous times in the organization he was with previously. I believe he was with Oakland before. I could be wrong about that. But we're seeing some talent that's continuing to come through the organization. Obviously, the Orioles have been drafting really high in previous years and also trading like Verbitsky for solid talent. And so we're excited about the guys that are on this team. And it's great to have them. They're all enthusiastic. They all understand what it's like to be on a minor league team in a community like Harford County. And I think Jackson's going to fit in. I'm lucky to know Brett Curl, who was with Team USA. He was just named the 18U manager for Team USA, and he coached Jackson when he was younger in that Team USA squad, and just has great things to say about him. And we're really excited because, obviously the play on the field is important, but the way these guys gel together and the organization that they're creating for the future is just as crucial.
Just one last quick thing about Gene Pinto. I remember that name. Where did we acquire him from? And is he a little older than, because he's got 18 innings in, he's got a 2.5 ERA, I think, and a 1.11 whip, but he struck out 27 guys in 4 starts. Is he a little older?
I think he's a little bit more well-developed. I couldn't say older as far as this level. When you acquire a guy who is a foreign national who may be signed when he was 16 years old. He may have 6 years under his belt, but that could mean that he's still a year younger than some of the guys on a high
Okay.
A. I don't know for sure. I haven't looked at his birth date recently. What I can tell you is he's got great pace. He's got great control. He's got great confidence on the mound. I'm a big fan of his, both on and off the field. Just a nice kid. Glad to have him on the team, and really excited for him to move up to Bowie. I always say, hate to see him go, love to watch him leave. Love to see him and make an impact elsewhere.
Gene Pinto, I'm just curious, and I wouldn't ask you this if you were just Tom, Dick, or Harry general manager of the team, but you did play ball. Do you see him as a starting pitcher? And this is not an official word by the Orioles, but just do you see him as a starter or somebody that would be like a really 6th, 7th, 8th inning leverage guy?
You know what? Because he has durability, because he has 3 or 4 pitches that he can mix up, because he has a good pace that he can maintain for multiple innings, he could be a starting pitcher. I don't know if he's a 7, 8, 9 complete game kind of guy, but in the major leagues, you don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to be Nolan, Walter Johnson going 9 innings every night. Go out there, make an impact, throw 4 or 5 innings of 2-run ball, and hand it over to the next guy. So I'm hopeful.
Ross, question or two?
Jack,
Maybe
let
about some of
me
the
ask you.
promotions upcoming, or
I'll get to that let's do that. What because I know crab night's coming. I love that, and I'm going to be up there in June. Is there anything in June for crabs?
We've got a crab night in June. We've got a crab night on May 28th. We picked 5 dates this summer between May 28th and August 20th when we're going to have crabs. They're always Sundays. So grab your tickets on IronBirdsBaseball.com. You get a dozen crabs, all you can eat hot dogs, hamburgers, mac and cheese, salad, cookies, soft drinks, a baseball game for $75. So it's really a deal you can't beat. And we're excited about that, as well as, Mother's Day is coming up. Come spend a day at the ballpark with the kids, send them to the kids zone, have some mimosas.
Perfect. Hey, and we talked about this earlier about the Savannah Bananas. Now I went to see them here in Florida. They were up in Tampa at Steinbrenner Field. It was quite entertaining, and I've seen them before. What are your thoughts on this and on what's going on with them? Because it's the Globetrotters of baseball.
Jesse Cole is a genius. I thought when I saw him with the yellow suit and that yellow hat 4 or 5 years ago, I thought this guy has got a shtick. And it doesn't matter if you're Jesse Cole or Vince McMahon or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you are making an impact positively on spectator sports. And I'm really excited about the way that they're bringing attention to minor league baseball and non-top level baseball, and keeping the fun in the game. I think that, ultimately, if they can come to Aberdeen and hang out with us, we would love that. If they just keep making an impact on social media and ESPN, that's great too. We're just thrilled that baseball is top of mind for people. So
now I just got to jump in, Ross. Savannah Banana, he threw it out to us before the show started. Jack, what is it? Is that like the San Diego Chicken when he was touring around the minor league parks? And
are you talking about Jesse? Are you talking about the Savannah Bananas?
Yeah, the Savannah Banana.
Well, when they made that club happen in Savannah and they started playing banana ball, and they were just a college wood bat team, it was about fun. It was about family friendly and affordable, close to minor league baseball as possible. But now that they've got this traveling tour, it is revolutionizing spectator sports, spectator baseball. I mean, name another sport where a spectator gets to catch a ball and the batter is out. I think it's fantastic. I think Jesse's a genius. This is me courting him. Hey, Jesse, come to Aberdeen. But seriously, if you're going to draw attention to baseball in a positive light, you're doing good stuff for the game. We're happy about it.
They got a 10-foot guy on stilts.
Manfred talking about using Savannah Banana to change some more rules.
Well, let's start with pitch clock and bigger bases, see how it goes for a few years. And we might incorporate stilts and dancing umpires eventually. These umpires, they're stiff. They need to loosen up.
Absolutely. It was raining up in at Steinbrenner Field, and it was capacity crowd. It was unbelievable. But I was really impressed. It was really fun to watch. And like you said, it's something new. And you know, there'll be a short time before they'll be around seeing everybody in minor leagues, maybe in the big leagues too. One of the other questions I wanted to ask you, Jack, is well, with the scheduling now, how do the players and the coaches, manager, how do they? I know you see the 6-game series. I mean, before you had 3-game, 4-game, maybe 5-game at you know. But now you got 6-game series, and that's a long time to face the same team. How's that working?
You know, I think it's working well for a lot of reasons. I think that being able to be home or in one city for 6 games, it gives you time for your body to adjust. If you have to get off the bus in Bowling Green after a 14-hour ride from Aberdeen and play baseball the next day, and then wake up, play baseball a second day, wake up a third day, play baseball, get on the bus again, ride 14 hours back. That's brutal on your body. If you can go and spend a week, it makes a huge difference, especially because you know that the day before and the day after are going to be off days. Those are huge. I think that the reason why you might see some challenges is things get chippy. If you see in the major leagues, teams get into 3-game series and they are already sick of each other after 3 days. Think about
really?
If you hit a guy on day 1 of a series and you're upset about it, or if you hit a home run off a pitcher in game 1 of a series, in a 5-man rotation, guess who's pitching game 6? Same guy.
Right.
You know, there are always going to be challenges, and that doesn't matter because it's a long baseball season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But I think that largely it's working, and the teams are happy with it because it creates consistency. It creates expectations for fans. They understand when you're home. They understand when you're on the road. So I will give kudos to Major League Baseball for creating something that creates, a certain level of consistency.
I want to remind folks that we're talking to Jack Graham. He's the Aberdeen IronBirds general manager. We'll continue with him, but first I got to tell you a little bit about the Costas Inn. They've been a sponsor of mine and friends of mine since the mid-90s. That's going on 30 years. They've been at the same location for over 50 years. And we talked about the crab nights at Aberdeen, at the Aberdeen IronBirds games. They've got 5 of them. They've got about 362 of those at the Costas Inn. And I want to remind folks, just like you have to do with the IronBirds, you got to reserve your crabs at the Costas Inn. 410-477-1975 is the number. Make it like a little mini vacation for your family when you go over to the Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard. Call ahead a day or two in advance to reserve your crabs. They're not easy to get this time of year, but they're awfully tasty at the Costas Inn, just like they are at the Aberdeen IronBirds games. Jack, continuing with you, and we'll wrap it up in just a few minutes, but I did want to ask you, you're the first person I've had to talk to since MLB, the MLBPA and Major League Baseball have ratified this deal that is going to drastically change the lives and lifestyle of minor league baseball players. Have you gotten to see that firsthand already? Is it in effect now, or is it something that will be taken in next year?
I have not read the CBA. I have not gotten into the details of it, but I do know that it's in effect. I do know that there are things that are happening for the guys that are very different from when I was playing. And make no mistake, these guys are not going to become millionaires overnight. They're going to make normal human wages. They're going to have some things that they maybe didn't have before, but they're still going to be young guys working hard, making their way through the minor leagues. It's still a grind. I mentioned the 14-hour bus ride to Rome, Georgia. That doesn't go away. Bowling Green, Kentucky. But, we were already making good steps in the right direction. When Major League Baseball took over in 2021 and started making some changes about facility standards. And last year they made it so that Major League clubs are housing all of their players and making sure that the players are getting a meal before and after the game. I think that the new unionization, the new CBA, really just cements a lot of the things that were already happening. Yep. And there are things that these guys deserve. And speaking as a former player, it makes a huge difference to their lives and their livelihoods and their ability to succeed. If you're living with a host family or in an apartment with 3 other guys, and you're eating Chipotle for lunch before you go to the ballpark because you don't have a pregame meal, you can't succeed the way you need to. And so I look forward to seeing guys who maybe couldn't have succeeded at the next level because they didn't have the resources to do so, being able to take that next step and be someone that they couldn't have otherwise been. So it's exciting, and it's going to be different. And the impact on my business is going to be very minimal, which is great. And I think the major league teams understand what it means to invest in the assets that these players are.
Wanted to circle back to a couple of those dates. Mother's Day, is it what's the date of that?
I believe it's May 14th. We've got Mother's Day coming up in less than 2 weeks here. So if you have not gotten your mom something good for Mother's Day, we're going to be putting out a special package. It's going to be $40 for all you can eat buffet in the party deck in the left field. If you buy the package for mom and kids, the kids get a Kid Zone wristband to go run around the Kid Zone while mom enjoys some mimosas in the party deck and watches a ball game. We're looking forward to really great weather. And what better way to celebrate than to, let the kids run around and have a nice day at the ballpark.
And I know you've got something coming up with some Marvel superheroes throughout the summer, or tell us a little bit about that.
So May 26th is going to be the first day that we've got fireworks since opening day. It's Marvel Defenders of the Diamond Night. Minor League Baseball and Marvel have teamed up to create special Marvel-inspired jerseys that teams throughout America are wearing. If you visit the Minor League Baseball Instagram, MILB, you can see a lot of these cool ones. They put a whole map out there. And we've got a really cool Marvel-inspired special jersey, special hat. We're going to have superhero content throughout the ballpark, throughout the night, and you can bid on the actual jerseys the players are wearing to benefit a charity. And we're really excited about, having a fun night at the ballpark. These guys are our heroes, and we get to have them wear some cool Marvel stuff too.
So May 26th is that date, and there'll be fireworks. Will there be fireworks nights throughout the summer?
Yeah, absolutely. We have 13 more fireworks nights after May 26th. So about, 20%, 30% of our games have fireworks. We're doing fireworks on Fridays. We're doing fireworks on some Saturdays. We're also July 3rd, Red, White, and Boom. It's our fireworks family festival on July 3rd. There's no baseball. It's just good, family-friendly, affordable entertainment before fireworks at Ripken Stadium. You can go sit on the grass and watch fireworks in a lawn chair while your kids scream and run around the park, or you can come to Ripken Stadium, buy a beer, hang out, have a seat, play some cornhole in left field, and watch fireworks at 9:30. There's a lot of good options out there, but my sales pitch is over now.
All right. Hey, Ross, you got a final question, and then I'll wrap it up with Jack.
I got a couple real quick. Jack, how are the new rules, bigger bases, that type of thing? How's that being, how the players and staff think about that?
The bigger bases are almost not noticeable. If you're standing right on top of them, obviously they're bigger, they're safer. That's statistically true. The pitch clock is excellent. It is my favorite thing. I'm going to get a pitch clock tattoo. Games are down about 30 in terms of total time. I think that you
got a large chunk of your life back now, don't you, Jack?
30 minutes times 66 games times not a math guy, but that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And, I think that players will adjust to the number of step-offs they're allowed and the amount of time that they have, and anything that helps us to steal bases, have more fun, be more exciting. I was not a big shift guy, so I like that the shift is a little bit more limited. We're playing baseball again. We're playing baseball like when I grew up watching, John Smoltz and Chuck Finley play each other in the 95 World Series, Cleveland and Atlanta. And it's baseball the way we remember it.
You know what? One of the things, and you mentioned about the speed of the game, like you said, I guess it's 30 minutes shaved off of it. Now, the first thing that comes to mind, how's that going to affect the bottom line? How's it going to affect the bottom line at the minor league level and the major league level? Well, reading today and looking at that, it hasn't affected. It's actually had the opposite effect on it, because people in several parks are coming to the park early and leaving later.
Yeah.
So that means they're buying more stuff.
Sure.
Concessions are up. One of my questions was as they go and negotiate a contract, they're gonna go, wait a minute, we didn't sell enough of this, that, and the other. We can't give you a raise. But
Right.
that's not the case now. There's things are working out the other way. They're changing the traditional organ music to DJ hip hop, higher energy stuff. I think in Arizona or Charlotte, I forget where I read, they have a DJ booth in left field or somewhere.
Yeah.
So that has had the complete opposite effect. Have you noticed that? How's it affected you guys?
Last year we had the pitch clock before the major leagues did, and so we got to see it a little bit. There is no doubt that you're going to see a little bit of a change in consumer behavior, right? But I think, we've been to enough baseball games between the three of us to say, do you buy a beer every 45 minutes? No, you buy a beer at the end of every other inning, right? Or maybe every third inning. So you show up, you get your first hot dog and your first beer, you sit down, you watch first pitch, right? By the end of the second inning, it doesn't matter if it's been 32 minutes or 47 minutes. Well, it's time for beer. Let's go grab a beer. Right? And then you
got it.
And then you hear the last call right before the end of the seventh inning. Well, we got to go get one more beer before the end of the seventh inning. It doesn't matter if it's an hour and 45 minutes before the end of the seventh inning, or if it's 2 hours and 25 minutes. Baseball has its own pace. And, if I leave you guys with one thing, it's that when you come to an IronBirds game at Ripken Stadium, you get to live in our world for a few hours. You get to be part of our environment. And it doesn't matter if it takes 2 hours and 36 minutes or 3 hours and 9 minutes. Don't get me wrong, 2 hours and 36 is preferable for me. But ultimately, we're about having fun in a family-friendly environment. And I think people can appreciate that. And maybe more people will come. And so if I sell a few less beers per person, but to more people, well, then I win.
We got to wrap. We're going to wrap things up. I'm going to circle back to why we had you on this particular night. It's a week away. Jackson Holliday is going to be there at Aberdeen IronBirds Ripken Stadium. Got 6 games coming up between the 9th and the 14th versus Hudson Valley. Then you go on the road for 6. You're back home against Jersey Shore for 6 dates, May 23rd to 28th. And then after a 6-game trip to Hudson Valley again, you're home for 13 games over 12 days, June 6th to June 18th. Do you think that's a reasonable amount of time? I know you don't confer with Mike Elias, but I think that's a pretty good bet that Jackson Holliday is going to be with you through around that time.
So I won't, again, like you said, I don't confer with Mike and I don't ask him to give me, that's too much responsibility. But what I will say is I think there's a high likelihood that Jackson will be with us through quite a significant amount of the summer. And the reason I say that is not because he's not a great player. It's not because he doesn't deserve to move up to AA quickly. It's because there's so much talent in the Orioles organization between AA, AAA, and the big leagues that in order for him to move up, they have to clear the logjam. And so is there a possibility that'll happen through one way or another? Maybe, right? Maybe the Orioles will make some moves at the deadline. Maybe some guys will get a chance to move up to the big leagues. Maybe that logjam will clear. But realistically, between Jackson Holliday and Gunnar Henderson, there's a lot of people in the way. And so I think that he'll be with us for the games that you mentioned. And I'm hoping that he'll be with us when we lift that South Atlantic League trophy on September 20th.
All right. Thank you very much. Again, Jack Graham, the general manager of the Aberdeen IronBirds. I'll be out sometime next week. I promise you.
I can't wait. Give me a
Look
text.
forward to seeing you. All
Thanks,
right.
Jack.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good evening. Jack Graham, general manager of the Aberdeen IronBirds. Again, we always thank the Costas Inn, one of our fine sponsors, and AJ Michaels, expert and award-winning AJ Michaels heating, AC, plumbing, and home performance will improve your home's energy efficiency and comfort levels. AC season is coming up fast. New rebates and discounts are available. More at ajmichaels.com. For Jack Graham, Ross Grimsley, I'm Stan the Fan, and we'll see you down the road. I'll be on Thursday night with Gary Stein and a couple great guests from the Baltimore Orioles. Bye.